moment you stop chasing everything else and start focusing on yourself, that's when your life begins to change. No more distractions, no more empty promises from the outside world. This is the real work, the real fight, and the only way you'll ever break through to the success you've been dreaming of. You've been told that success comes from luck, from knowing the right people, or from being in the right place at the right time. That's a lie. The truth is, the only thing that guarantees your victory is how much you decide to focus on becoming the best version of yourself. When you invest your time, your energy, and your heart into your growth, you build a power so strong that no circumstance can steal it from you. This journey isn't for the faint of heart. It's for those who are ready to take responsibility, to face their own weaknesses, and to commit to the grind that no one else sees. Because the world won't hand you your dreams, you have to fight for them by sharpening your mind, strengthening your habits, and cultivating an unbreakable belief in yourself. When your focus is clear, distractions lose their grip. The noise around you fades into silence. You start to see opportunities where others see obstacles, and slowly but surely, you become unstoppable. This is your call to action. Stop looking outside for answers and start looking within. The power to win has always been inside you. Now it's time to unleash it by focusing on yourself until nothing else matters but your growth, your progress, and your victory. No more excuses, no more waiting. This is your moment. Chapter 1. The Power of Relentless Self-Focus. You have more power inside you than you realize. Not the kind of power that shouts and demands attention, but the quiet, unyielding force that builds every time you decide to show up for yourself. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is survival. It is victory. It is the foundation on which all your dreams are built. Every person who's ever made it big, broken barriers, or created something that lasts has done one thing above all else. They mastered their own focus. They learned to silence the chaos around them, to drown out the doubters, and to look inward with fierce determination. This is not a luxury. It's not an option. It's the single most important skill you must develop. Look around and you'll see distractions everywhere. Social media feeds that never end, voices trying to pull you in every direction, urgent demands that scream for your attention but offer nothing in return. You can either let these distractions steal your time and energy, or you can take control. It begins with a choice to prioritize your growth over temporary pleasures. Imagine your mind as a muscle. If you don't train it, if you let it wander aimlessly, it becomes weak and vulnerable. But when you train it to focus, to hold your attention on what matters, it becomes a weapon. It sharpens your ability to take action, to push through obstacles, and to stay consistent when others give up. Consistency is the invisible force behind every success story. It's the quiet work you do when no one is watching. It's the decision to keep going when motivation fades. But consistency only works when you have focus. Without focus, consistency is like throwing darts blindfolded. You may hit the target by chance, but it won't happen often. When your focus is clear, every effort compounds and your progress accelerates. This is why focusing on yourself means more than just thinking about your goals. It means building the habits, mindset, and discipline that allow you to pursue those goals without wavering. It means setting boundaries that protect your time and energy from being drained by unnecessary distractions. Have you ever noticed how successful people guard their mornings? How they protect their time fiercely? That's no accident. Their focus begins the moment they wake up with intention and purpose. They don't wait for motivation to show up. They create it by controlling what they allow into their mind. You must become the same guardian of your time and energy. Your focus is a sacred resource. It deserves to be treated like gold, invested only in what builds you, not what breaks you down. Start with awareness. Pay attention to where your attention goes. For one day, track how many times you get pulled into something irrelevant or draining. You'll be shocked at how much energy is wasted. Then, make a decision. No more giving your power away to distractions that don't serve your future. The moment you make that choice, you begin to shift the trajectory of your life. You stop reacting to everything and start responding only to what aligns with your vision. But focusing on yourself isn't only about saying no to distractions. It's about saying yes to yourself, yes to your potential, yes to your dreams, yes to the difficult work that most people avoid. You must fall in love with the process of growth, even when it's uncomfortable, because growth always requires discomfort. It demands you step outside your comfort zone, face your fears, and challenge your limiting beliefs. When you focus on yourself, you're not just building skills or chasing achievements. You're rewriting your identity. You're telling yourself a new story. I am capable. I am disciplined. I am worthy of success. This internal narrative is the compass that guides your actions. If you believe you are weak or undeserving, your focus will falter at the first sign of resistance. But if you commit to believing in yourself, your focus becomes unbreakable. Let me tell you about someone who embodied this truth. A young woman with no resources, no network, just a burning desire to change her life. Every day she blocked out noise naysayers telling her she wasn't good enough, distractions tempting her to settle. She focused on learning, on improving, on moving forward, even when progress was slow. Years later, she became a leader in her field, admired for her resilience and clarity. What made the difference wasn't luck. It was relentless focus on herself. She invested in her skills, guarded her time, and never lost sight of her vision. You have that same potential. The question is, will you claim it? To focus on yourself until you win, you need tools. You need practical strategies that help you harness your attention and energy. Let's start with one powerful practice: journaling your priorities. Each morning, write down the 1 or 2 things that matter most for your growth that day. Keep it simple. This anchors your focus and gives your mind a clear target. When distractions come knocking, you'll have a reminder of where your attention belongs. Next, create blocks of uninterrupted time. Even 30 minutes a day, free from phones, emails, or social media, dedicated solely to your highest priorities. This focused work builds momentum and rewires your brain to resist distractions. Another crucial step is learning to say no, not just to others, but to yourself. No to habits, thoughts, or routines that drain your energy. Saying no is not rejection, it's protection. It's honoring your commitment to growth. And remember, focus is a skill that strengthens with practice. Don't expect perfection. Some days your mind will wander, and that's okay. The key is to notice when it happens and gently bring your attention back to what matters. As your focus deepens, you'll notice something magical. Your confidence grows. Because when you prove to yourself that you can commit, that you can resist temptation, that you can prioritize your growth above all else, you build trust with yourself. This trust is the foundation of lasting change. Without it, every goal feels fragile. With it, you become unstoppable. Now, understand this. Focusing on yourself isn't a solo journey you take once and then relax. It's a lifelong commitment. Life will always try to pull you away. The world is designed to scatter your attention and make you settle for less. But you are different. You are ready to fight for your future with every ounce of focus you have. Because the moment you focus on yourself, the noise falls away, the doubt fades, the distractions lose their power, and what's left is you. A focused, disciplined, empowered person, moving steadily toward the life you deserve. Chapter 2. Owning your power through radical responsibility. The moment you decide to own your life fully, everything changes. Not because the world suddenly becomes easier, but because your mindset shifts. When you take radical responsibility for your thoughts, your emotions, your choices, and your actions, you stop waiting for someone else to fix your problems or give you permission to succeed. You become the source of your own power. This is the crossroads where winners separate from the rest. It's tempting to blame circumstances, people, or luck when things don't go your way, but every time you do, you hand your power to something outside yourself. You give away control, and with it, your ability to change your reality. Radical responsibility means saying, "I am the creator of my life." It means looking in the mirror and accepting that your current situation is the result of your past decisions, and that your future depends entirely on the choices you make now. This isn't easy. It requires courage. It demands that you stop playing the victim and start becoming the architect of your destiny. And it means understanding that no one owes you anything. Not success, not happiness, not respect. When you accept this, your focus sharpens. You stop wasting energy on complaints and distractions. Instead, you channel everything into building yourself up, step by step, brick by brick. The beauty of radical responsibility is that it empowers you. When you know you are in charge, you stop feeling helpless. You start to see setbacks as lessons, failures as feedback, and challenges as opportunities to grow stronger. Let's break down how to live this daily. Begin with your thoughts. Every belief you hold about yourself, others, and the world shapes your reality. Some of these beliefs lift you up, but many hold you back. Notice which beliefs are yours by choice and which are inherited or imposed. Then, challenge the ones that limit you. Are you telling yourself you're not smart enough, not worthy, too old, too inexperienced? These are lies, stories created by fear and doubt. Replace them with truth. Truth is the fuel of responsibility. Say to yourself, "I am capable of learning. I am worthy of success. My past does not define me." Next, own your emotions. It's normal to feel fear, anger, or frustration, but radical responsibility means you do not let these emotions control you. You acknowledge them, understand where they come from, and decide how to act despite them. Emotional mastery comes from awareness and practice. When you feel overwhelmed, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to tell me? How can I respond in a way that serves my growth? The way you handle emotions directly impacts your focus. A mind ruled by unexamined feelings is like a stormy sea, chaotic and unpredictable. A mind guided by awareness is calm and powerful. Now, look at your actions. Responsibility means you don't just think about change, you take it. It means doing what you know you should do even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. This is where many stumble. They know the right habits, the right mindset, but procrastinate, avoid, or distract themselves. Radical responsibility demands you move anyway. It requires discipline and grit. You build these by creating small wins. Choose one area of your life where you can take consistent action. Maybe it's waking up early, exercising, reading, or focusing on a project. Commit to showing up every day. The result may not be immediate, but the momentum you build compounds beyond measure. Consider the story of a man who lost everything in his 20s, his job, his home, his relationships. He had every reason to give up, but instead of blaming others or circumstances, he took radical responsibility. He rebuilt himself from the ground up, one small action at a time. Years later, he was successful beyond his wildest dreams. The difference? He owned his power by owning his choices, even when the path was brutal. This principle applies to you too. No matter your starting point, your past mistakes, or how many times you've fallen, you have the power to rewrite your story. Responsibility also means accountability. Don't just make promises to yourself and forget them. Track your progress. Reflect honestly on your setbacks. Learn from them and adjust your course. Create a daily ritual of review. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? Where did I fall short? What can I improve tomorrow? This process keeps your focus aligned and your growth intentional. It prevents complacency and excuses from creeping back in. Another critical aspect is surrounding yourself with accountability partners, people who challenge you to be better and hold you to your commitments. This doesn't mean letting others control your life, but sharing your goals with trusted allies who will push you forward. Remember, taking radical responsibility doesn't mean you carry the burden alone. It means you acknowledge your role in your life and seek support wisely. This mindset also frees you from the trap of perfectionism. When you own your journey, you accept that mistakes are part of the process. You stop fearing failure and instead see it as necessary feedback. The fear of failure is one of the greatest obstacles to focus and progress. It keeps you stuck in hesitation, avoiding risks that could lead to growth. But radical responsibility shatters this fear because you understand that the only true failure is giving up. So, when doubt creeps in, remind yourself that you are in control. You decide how to respond. You decide whether to persist or quit. Finally, responsibility means you take care of yourself, physically, mentally, and spiritually. You recognize that your body and mind are your greatest assets. Neglecting them is the fastest way to sabotage your progress. Invest in your health through good nutrition, regular movement, and adequate rest. Nurture your mind by feeding it positive influences, books, podcasts, meaningful conversations. Spend time in solitude and reflection. Connect with your deeper purpose. This self-care is not indulgence, it's essential fuel for the focused, relentless pursuit of your goals. Owning your power through radical responsibility is not a one-time decision. It's a daily commitment to rise above excuses, distractions, and setbacks. It's about becoming the leader of your life and the champion of your growth. The moment you embrace this, your focus sharpens, your actions gain purpose, your progress accelerates. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You are the master of your destiny. Chapter 3. The Unstoppable Force of Habit and Mindset. There's a hidden force beneath every achievement, every breakthrough, every moment of greatness. It's not magic or luck, it's habit. Habit is the engine that propels you forward when motivation fades. Habit is the silent architect of your future, building your destiny one action at a time. But habits alone aren't enough. They need to be powered by the right mindset, the lens through which you see yourself and the world. You might be wondering, how do habits become unstoppable? How do they transform from occasional efforts into relentless momentum? The answer lies in understanding the intimate dance between what you do and how you think. First, habits are not about willpower. Willpower is limited, a flickering flame that burns out under pressure. Habits are automatic behaviors wired into your brain, triggered by cues, reinforced by rewards. They become part of your identity, so much so that you don't have to think about them, they just happen. This means the real battle isn't about forcing yourself to act. It's about designing your environment and routines so your desired habits flow naturally. When you create systems that support your focus, you reduce resistance and conserve energy. Start by examining your current habits. What actions are propelling you toward your goals? Which ones are pulling you back? Be honest. Habits are often invisible until you shine a light on them. For example, if your goal is to focus on growth, but your daily routine includes endless scrolling through social media, that habit is a thief of your time and energy. Recognizing this is the first step to change. Next, replace old habits with new ones that serve you. But don't try to overhaul everything at once. That's a recipe for failure. Instead, focus on tiny changes that compound over time. Choose one habit to build. Make it so small it feels easy. Want to read more? Start with 1 page a day. Want to exercise? Begin with 5 minutes. This micro approach lowers the barrier to action and builds momentum. Celebrate these small wins. Every time you follow through, your brain releases dopamine, the reward chemical. This makes you want to repeat the behavior. Over time, repetition ingrains the habit deeper. But here's the catch. Habits alone won't carry you through challenges if your mindset isn't aligned. Mindset is the invisible force that colors your perception and drives your behavior. If you believe you're destined to fail, your habits will falter at the first obstacle. If you see setbacks as proof that you're not good enough, you'll quit before you start. But if you cultivate a growth mindset, believing your abilities can improve with effort, you create a foundation for resilience and perseverance. Changing your mindset requires intentional practice. It starts with awareness of your internal dialogue. What are you saying to yourself when things get hard? Are your words empowering or limiting? Catch negative thoughts and reframe them. Instead of "I can't do this," say "This is difficult, but I'm learning." Instead of "I'm not smart enough," say "I can improve with practice." Surround yourself with influences that reinforce a positive, growth-oriented mindset. Read stories of people who overcame adversity. Listen to podcasts that inspire action. Engage in conversations that challenge your thinking. Visualization is a powerful tool to align habit and mindset. Take a moment each day to imagine yourself living the life you desire. See yourself performing your habits effortlessly, overcoming obstacles with confidence, and achieving your goals. This mental rehearsal trains your brain to expect success, making your habits easier to sustain. Accountability also strengthens habit and mindset. Share your goals with someone who supports your growth. Regular check-ins create external motivation and reinforce commitment. Remember, setbacks are part of the journey. You will miss days, slip into old patterns, feel discouraged, but this doesn't define you. What defines you is your ability to get back up and keep moving forward. Consistency is built on grace and persistence, not perfection. Let me share a story. There was an athlete who wanted to compete at the highest level. Early on, she struggled with discipline, motivation waned, and progress stalled. But she committed to focusing on tiny habits: a daily stretch, a morning visualization, reading one page about her sport. She paired this with affirmations: "I am strong, I am capable, I grow every day." Over months, these habits transformed into a routine. Her mindset shifted from doubt to belief. She became unstoppable, not because of talent alone, but because of the power of habit and mindset working in harmony. You have this same power. Your habits don't have to be monumental. They just have to be consistent and backed by belief. To build your unstoppable force, design your environment to support your habits. Remove distractions, create reminders, set triggers. For instance, if you want to write daily, keep your notebook or laptop visible. If you want to meditate, set a timer and create a quiet space. Plan for obstacles, know your weak moments, and prepare strategies. If evenings are your downfall, schedule your most important habit in the morning. If fatigue tempts you to quit, take a short break but return quickly. Be patient. Growth takes time. Habits are forged in the crucible of daily effort, not instant transformation. Focus on progress, not perfection. Celebrate every step forward and learn from every stumble. Finally, commit to lifelong learning. Your habits and mindset will evolve as you grow. Stay curious, stay flexible, and keep refining your process. When habit and mindset unite, they create a force that can't be stopped. This force propels you through resistance, doubt, and fear. It turns your focus from a flicker into a flame. You become the person who doesn't wait for motivation, you create it. The person who doesn't rely on luck, you build your own. The person who doesn't get derailed by setbacks, you rise stronger every time. This is the power of habit and mindset. This is the foundation for winning in every area of life. Chapter 4. Mastering your inner dialogue. Every moment of your day, an invisible conversation is taking place inside your mind. This dialogue, your inner voice, is the unseen architect of your emotions, decisions, and ultimately your reality. It shapes how you see yourself, how you interpret the world, and how you respond to life's challenges. Yet, most people let this conversation run wild, unchecked, allowing doubt, fear, and negativity to dictate their path. The truth is, mastering your inner dialogue is the gateway to mastering your life. If you don't control the narrative in your head, you become a passenger on a ride driven by someone else's script. A script filled with limitations and self-sabotage. Imagine waking up tomorrow with a voice in your head that says, "You are strong, you are capable, you can handle whatever comes." Imagine that voice guiding your every step, fueling your actions with confidence and clarity. That is the power of a consciously crafted inner dialogue. Let's start by understanding what this inner conversation really is. It's not just random thoughts. It's a continuous flow of messages you tell yourself, sometimes silently, sometimes loudly. These messages influence your feelings and your choices, often beneath your awareness. Negative self-talk, thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," "I always fail," or "I don't deserve this," creates emotional turbulence. It builds walls that trap you in doubt and fear. Positive self-talk, on the other hand, opens doors. It cultivates resilience, courage, and determination. The first step to mastering your inner dialogue is awareness. Begin to listen without judgment. Notice the patterns. When do your thoughts turn negative? What triggers them? Is it a certain situation, a person, or a memory? Once you recognize these patterns, you gain the power to interrupt them. Just like changing a channel on a radio, you can switch your focus to a different frequency. Replace harmful thoughts with constructive ones. For example, when the thought, "I can't do this," arises, challenge it. Ask yourself, "Is this true? What evidence do I have that contradicts this?" Then consciously choose a more empowering thought. "This is hard, but I am learning and growing." This practice rewires your brain over time. Neuroscience shows that repeated thoughts strengthen neural pathways. By feeding your mind positive affirmations and realistic encouragement, you build new pathways that support confidence and success. Affirmations aren't just cliches. When done consistently with belief, they change your subconscious programming. But they must feel authentic. Saying, "I am a millionaire," when you're drowning in debt can feel disingenuous. Instead, say, "I am open to abundance," or "I am improving my financial habits every day." Another powerful tool is visualization. Combine your positive self-talk with vivid mental imagery. Picture yourself succeeding, overcoming obstacles, feeling the emotions of victory. This activates the same brain areas as actual experience, preparing you mentally and emotionally to take action. Your inner dialogue also controls your emotional responses. When you master it, you can choose how to react to setbacks instead of being overwhelmed. For example, if you fail at a task, your mind might say, "I'm a failure." But with mastery, you say, "This is feedback. What can I learn?" This shift transforms failure from a stop sign into a guidepost. It allows you to maintain momentum instead of slipping into despair. Keep in mind, mastery doesn't mean ignoring real challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It means facing reality honestly while choosing empowering responses. A technique called cognitive reframing helps with this. When negative thoughts surface, reframe the situation to find a constructive perspective. If you're nervous about a presentation, reframe it as an opportunity to share your knowledge and grow your skills. Mastering your inner dialogue also means becoming your own coach instead of your harshest critic. Most people are far tougher on themselves than anyone else would be. This internal harshness breeds fear and paralysis. Be kind, patient, and firm with yourself. Encourage progress, not perfection. Celebrate effort. Acknowledge struggles as part of growth. Journaling is a practical way to track and transform your inner dialogue. Write down negative thoughts as they arise, and then rewrite them into empowering statements. Over time, you'll notice a pattern and can develop tailored affirmations and mantras. Let me share a story. A man struggling with self-doubt decided to record his thoughts each evening. He found that his inner voice was filled with criticism and fear of failure. Through daily journaling and deliberate reframing, he rewired his thoughts. Months later, his confidence soared and he pursued opportunities he had once avoided. You have that same ability. Every word you say to yourself is a seed. Plant wisely. Remember, your inner dialogue is your constant companion. You cannot escape it, but you can guide it. By mastering this conversation, you turn your mind from a prison into a launch pad. Your thoughts become allies, propelling you toward your goals. The process takes time, discipline, and courage, but the rewards are immeasurable. When your inner dialogue aligns with your purpose and values, your focus sharpens, your energy lifts, and your actions flow with conviction. You become unstoppable, because your greatest critic becomes your greatest champion. Chapter 5. Embracing discomfort.
Growth never happens in comfort. This is a truth often ignored, but rarely escaped. If you want to be someone who breaks limits and shatters ceilings, you must learn to embrace discomfort, not as an enemy, but as a trusted guide. Discomfort signals growth, change, and the shedding of old limitations. It's the soil in which resilience takes root. Many shy away from pain, struggle, or challenge because they see discomfort as something to avoid. They settle for safety, routine, and the familiar, even when it feels like a cage. But true winners understand that discomfort is a necessary part of transformation.
Think about the strongest muscles in your body. They didn't develop by resting or avoiding strain. They grew by pushing against resistance, by embracing temporary pain for lasting strength. Your mind and spirit work the same way. When discomfort arises, it triggers a choice. You can retreat, retreating into excuses, fear, or avoidance, or you can lean into it, using it as fuel for growth and learning. Resilience is not about never feeling discomfort. It's about feeling it fully and choosing to keep moving forward anyway. This choice is a muscle you can build. Every time you face a difficult situation without giving up, your resilience strengthens. It becomes easier to handle the next challenge. The world doesn't get easier, but you get stronger. One powerful way to embrace discomfort is by reframing your perspective on failure and struggle. Instead of seeing them as signs of defeat, view them as essential steps on your journey. Every setback contains a lesson. Every obstacle hides an opportunity. The pain you experience today is the foundation of your strength tomorrow. Let me tell you a story about a woman who lost everything: her job, her home, her sense of security. At first, she was overwhelmed by fear and doubt. But then she made a decision. She would not let discomfort defeat her. She embraced the uncertainty, the pain, and the struggle as necessary parts of her rebirth. She sought help, learned new skills, and persisted despite setbacks. Years later, she created a life richer than she had imagined. Her resilience was forged in the fires of discomfort. You have that same potential, but it requires conscious commitment. Start by stepping outside your comfort zone regularly. This doesn't mean reckless risk-taking, but deliberate challenges that stretch your limits. It could be as simple as starting a difficult conversation, waking up earlier, learning a new skill, or saying no to distractions. Each small act of courage builds your tolerance for discomfort. It trains your mind to see discomfort as a sign of growth, not a threat. Another powerful practice is mindfulness. When you feel discomfort, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental, pause. Observe it without judgment. Breathe into it. Mindfulness helps you create space between sensation and reaction. It prevents discomfort from overwhelming you and gives you control over your response. You can face discomfort with curiosity rather than fear. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to teach me? How can I grow from this? This mindset transforms discomfort from an enemy into a teacher. Resilience also grows through routine. Establish daily habits that challenge you, like cold showers, intense exercise, or focused work sessions. These small doses of discomfort prepare you for bigger challenges. Remember, resilience isn't about avoiding breakdowns. It's about how quickly you recover and what you learn in the process. When life knocks you down, and it will, you get to decide if you stay down or rise with more wisdom and strength. Developing resilience also means cultivating a support system. No one grows alone. Seek mentors, friends, or communities that encourage your growth and hold you accountable. Their support won't eliminate discomfort, but it will provide encouragement when you feel like quitting. Finally, embrace the uncertainty of growth. Discomfort often comes from fear of the unknown, but uncertainty is where all possibilities live. If you want a new life, you must be willing to walk uncharted paths. When you accept discomfort as part of your journey, you stop fearing failure and start chasing growth. You become someone who doesn't just survive challenges, taskmaster, but as a loyal ally. One that guides you steadily when enthusiasm wavers, when distractions beckon, and when challenges arise. It is the daily commitment to your vision, the quiet power that fuels progress, even when the initial excitement is gone. Most people misunderstand discipline. They think it's about willpower alone or depriving themselves of joy. But discipline is freedom. The freedom to control your actions and design your life intentionally. The moment you embrace discipline, you reclaim your power. You stop being a slave to your impulses and start steering your life with purpose. Discipline is built through small, consistent actions. It's waking up early when your body wants to rest. It's choosing the hard path today to enjoy the rewards tomorrow. It's prioritizing long-term growth over instant gratification. One of the most effective ways to cultivate discipline is through structure. Create clear routines that support your goals. When your day is organized around habits aligned with your vision, you reduce decision fatigue and make discipline automatic. Set boundaries around your time and energy. Protect your focus fiercely. Say no to distractions without guilt. Remember, every no to something trivial is a yes to your greater purpose. Another secret to discipline is clarity. When your goals are clear and compelling, discipline flows naturally. If your vision is vague or uninspiring, discipline feels like a chore. Take time to define your why, the deep reason behind your pursuit. Let this why fuel your commitment when challenges arise. Self-accountability is a powerful discipline tool. Track your progress daily. Use journals, apps, or simple checklists. Seeing your efforts adds momentum and holds you responsible. Also, embrace delayed gratification. Success rarely comes overnight. Discipline means choosing long-term rewards over short-term pleasure. This mindset rewires your brain to seek fulfillment from growth, not from fleeting distractions. Understand that discipline is not about perfection. You will slip, fail, and get off track. The difference between disciplined people and others is that disciplined people get back up and keep moving forward without excuses. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small. Each step forward strengthens your discipline muscle. One story that illustrates the power of discipline is of an artist who struggled to find time for her craft amid a busy life. She committed to practicing just 15 minutes every day. Some days she barely managed 5, but she showed up. Years later, this tiny discipline transformed her into a master, opening doors she once thought impossible. Your discipline journey will be similar. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how the compounding effect transforms your life. Finally, discipline requires self-compassion. Be firm but kind with yourself. Understand that discipline is a practice, not a perfect state. When you develop discipline, you create unstoppable momentum. Your goals stop being distant dreams and become inevitable outcomes. Discipline turns focus into action, action into habit, and habit into success. This bridge from intention to reality is built one deliberate step at a time. Cross it daily and nothing will be out of your reach. Chapter 7. The unseen power of your success. Success is not created in isolation. It is deeply influenced by the environment you immerse yourself in every day. Your surroundings, the people you interact with, the physical spaces you inhabit, and even the media you consume act as silent architects of your thoughts, habits, and ultimately, your destiny. While it's easy to focus solely on internal change, neglecting the external landscape is a mistake that many make. Your environment either propels you forward or holds you back. Imagine two people with the exact same talent, drive, and potential. One lives surrounded by positivity, inspiration, and support. The other is caught in toxic relationships, cluttered spaces, and constant negativity. Guess who reaches their goals faster? Who has the mental clarity to keep pushing when challenges arise? The answer is obvious. Your environment is the soil in which your success grows. Let's break down how your environment shapes you and, more importantly, how to design it intentionally to serve your growth. First, consider the people around you. Humans are wired to adapt and mimic the behaviors of those they spend the most time with. If you surround yourself with motivated, disciplined, and growth-oriented individuals, you absorb their energy, mindset, and habits. Their standards become your standards. Their beliefs shape your beliefs. You start thinking bigger, acting bolder, and expecting more. Conversely, if your circle is filled with negativity, complacency, or constant complaining, your focus weakens. Their doubts become your doubts, their fears your fears. Toxic relationships drain your energy, scatter your attention, and make you question your worth. Choose your circle wisely. Seek mentors, friends, and colleagues who challenge you to rise, who hold you accountable, and who celebrate your progress. Sometimes this means distancing yourself from people who no longer align with your vision. It's not about burning bridges, but about protecting your path. Next, your physical environment has a profound impact on your mindset and productivity. Cluttered, chaotic spaces breed distraction and stress. Clean, organized, and inspiring environments promote clarity and creativity. Think about where you work, rest, and recharge. Are these places fueling your focus or draining it? Simple changes can make a huge difference. Declutter your workspace. Add elements that inspire you, like plants, art, or meaningful quotes, and create zones dedicated to different activities. When your surroundings reflect your ambitions, your brain associates those spaces with purpose, making focus easier. The media you consume also shapes your mental landscape. What you watch, read, and listen to either uplifts or drains you. Constant exposure to negative news, toxic social media, or unproductive content floods your mind with noise that interferes with your focus. Curate your intake carefully. Fill your mind with knowledge, stories of success, wisdom, and motivation that align with your goals. Be mindful of digital distractions. Smartphones, notifications, endless scrolling, they are designed to hijack your attention. Set boundaries. Designate specific times to check messages. Use apps that limit distractions, and create tech-free periods to reconnect with your focus. Another often overlooked factor is your daily routines. Rituals like morning habits, exercise, meals, and sleep patterns influence your energy levels and mindset. Environments that support healthy routines amplify your resilience and discipline. Prioritize creating spaces and habits that nurture your body and mind. Remember, you can't control everything around you, but you can control what you expose yourself to and how you react. This is the essence of intentional living. Designing your environment is a powerful act of self-respect and self-mastery. It sends a message to your subconscious. I am serious about my growth. I am creating a life that supports my success. Take a moment to evaluate your current environment honestly. What's working? What's draining you? What changes can you make today to align your surroundings with your vision? You don't need drastic overhauls. Small, consistent tweaks, choosing different friends, clearing a desk, switching off notifications, compound into a life that champions your focus and growth. Your environment is a reflection of your inner world and a catalyst for your outer world. When you master it, you multiply your chances of winning. Chapter 8. The Art of Focused Action. Vision without action is just a dream. The power of your focus is meaningless if it doesn't translate into deliberate, purposeful action. Taking consistent, focused steps towards your goals is the art that turns your inner desires into external achievements. It is where ideas meet execution, where plans become progress. Many people mistake busyness for productivity. They fill their days with tasks and distractions, but never make real headway. The secret lies in focused action, doing fewer things, but doing them better, with intention and energy. Focused action begins with clarity. Know exactly what you want to achieve and break it down into specific, manageable steps. Vague goals like, I want to be successful, don't guide your actions. Clear objectives like, I will complete the first draft of my book by the end of the month, give you direction and urgency. Prioritize your tasks. Identify the few actions that will have the greatest impact, your critical few. Allocate your best energy and time to these. Avoid falling into the trap of busy work that feels productive but leads nowhere. Once you identify your priorities, create a plan that sequences your actions logically. What needs to happen first? What depends on something else? A plan helps prevent overwhelm and keeps your focus sharp, but plans alone don't create results. You must cultivate discipline to follow through. This means showing up even when motivation dips, when distractions lure, and when progress feels slow. Use techniques like time blocking, assigning specific hours to tasks to guard your focus. Eliminate interruptions during these blocks. Consider techniques like the Pomodoro method, working in focused bursts with breaks to maintain energy. Deep work, the state of uninterrupted concentration, is where your most valuable work happens. Protect this time fiercely. Turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and signal to others that you are not to be disturbed. Remember, action fuels motivation as much as motivation fuels action. Starting, even imperfectly, generates momentum. Often the hardest part is simply beginning. Don't wait for perfect conditions. The ideal moment rarely arrives. Instead, commit to progress over perfection. As you act, track your results honestly. Reflection is key to improvement. What's working? What's slowing you down? Adjust your approach as needed. Also, prepare for setbacks. They are inevitable. When things don't go as planned, resist the urge to quit. Analyze what went wrong, learn the lesson, and keep moving. Celebrate milestones along the way. Recognizing progress sustains your drive and reminds you of your capability. Focused action also requires adaptability. Rigid plans can blind you to better opportunities. Stay open to feedback, new ideas, and course corrections. Your ability to balance persistence with flexibility determines how effectively you turn vision into reality. One story illustrates this well. A young entrepreneur had a clear vision but faced repeated failures. Instead of giving up, she took focused action, refining her product, reaching out to customers, learning from feedback, and adjusting her strategy. Over time, her persistence and strategic actions led to breakthrough success. You have that same power. Your vision is valid, your goals achievable, but only through focused, consistent action will your dreams take shape. So take the next step today. Identify the most important task, remove distractions, commit to working on it with your full attention. Action is the language of success. Speak it fluently and often. Your future depends on what you do now, not tomorrow or someday. Chapter 9. The Power of Patience. In an era dominated by instant gratification and rapid results, patience has become a rare and precious virtue. Yet, it is one of the most powerful forces you can harness on your journey to lasting success. Patience is not passive waiting, it is an active, disciplined endurance, a commitment to persist, grow, and trust the process even when progress seems invisible. True success rarely unfolds overnight. Behind every story of achievement lies countless hours of unseen effort, quiet sacrifice, and persistent faith. Patience allows you to weather the storms of doubt and frustration, keeping your focus steady while others abandon their goals at the first sign of hardship. Embracing patience means you understand that meaningful growth is a gradual unfolding. Like the oak tree that begins as a tiny acorn buried in the soil, your potential requires time to sprout, stretch, and mature. You cannot rush this natural progression without risking failure or burnout. However, patience doesn't mean passivity or complacency. It's a dynamic process of persistent action coupled with trust in the timing of your results. You keep moving forward deliberately while allowing space for growth, learning, and adaptation. One of the greatest challenges to patience is the discomfort of uncertainty. When you cannot see immediate rewards or clear progress, your mind urges you to quit or seek shortcuts. Overcoming this requires a mindset shift, viewing uncertainty as an essential part of growth rather than a threat. Reframe waiting periods as valuable time for reflection, skill building, and preparation. Use this time to deepen your knowledge, refine your strategies, and strengthen your habits. This patience in preparation primes you for breakthroughs that come at the right moment. Another vital aspect of patience is managing expectations. Society often pushes unrealistic timelines, fueled by social media highlight reels that mask the grind behind success. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10. Recognize that everyone's path is unique, and authentic growth honors your pace. Build patience by practicing mindfulness and present moment awareness. When anxiety about the future creeps in, bring your attention back to the here and now. Focus on the small steps you can take today, rather than obsessing over distant outcomes. Remember, impatience often leads to poor decisions, rushed choices, giving up too soon, or falling for quick fixes that undermine long-term success. Cultivating patience helps you stay aligned with your values and goals, making wiser decisions grounded in perseverance. Draw inspiration from nature and history's greatest achievers. From inventors to artists to leaders, their legacies were forged through relentless patience and resilience. They understood that the greatest rewards require sustained effort and time. For example, Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed, I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His patience and willingness to persist through repeated setbacks revolutionized the world. You have the same capacity for patience and persistence, but it requires daily practice and a commitment to trust yourself and your journey. Embrace setbacks as teachers rather than roadblocks. When progress stalls, resist the urge to panic. Instead, lean into patience, knowing that every small effort contributes to your growth, even if it's not immediately visible. Practice gratitude for the progress you have made. Recognizing your growth, no matter how incremental, fuels the patience needed to keep going. Finally, align your patience with purpose. When your why is strong and clear, waiting becomes easier because you know what you're working toward. Your purpose becomes the anchor that holds you steady through the uncertainty. Patience is the quiet strength behind every great success. It empowers you to persist, adapt, and keep your focus sharp even when the road is long and winding. So cultivate patience as a vital companion on your path. Allow time to work its magic while you work with unwavering dedication. Your persistence will shape your future far more than fleeting bursts of speed. Chapter 10. The Strength of Self-Compassion. In a world that often demands perfection and harsh judgment, self-compassion emerges as a radical act of kindness and strength. It is the practice of treating yourself with the same patience, understanding, and encouragement that you would offer a close friend. While many equate self-compassion with weakness or indulgence, it is in truth a foundational pillar of sustained growth, resilience, and true focus. Your journey towards success is filled with challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. Without compassion for yourself, these moments become sources of harsh self-criticism that sap your energy and cloud your focus. The internal voice shifts from an encouraging coach to a ruthless critic, undermining motivation and breeding despair. Self-compassion changes this narrative. It allows you to acknowledge your imperfections, failures, and struggles without judgment. Instead of condemning yourself for mistakes, you learn to see them as natural parts of growth, opportunities to learn, adapt, and improve. Begin by recognizing that being human means being imperfect. Everyone experiences setbacks and moments of weakness. This shared human experience connects you to others and dissolves isolation. When you realize you are not alone in your struggles, self-compassion flows more freely. Practice mindful awareness of your emotions. When negative feelings arise, shame, frustration, disappointment, observe them without resistance. Allow yourself to feel without getting lost in self-criticism or avoidance. Mindfulness creates space for healing and growth. Replace self-judgment with self-kindness. Speak to yourself in a gentle, supportive tone. When you stumble, say, "It's okay to make mistakes. I'm learning and growing." This shift nurtures confidence and encourages perseverance. One powerful exercise is writing a compassionate letter to yourself. Imagine you are writing to a dear friend facing similar challenges. What words of comfort and encouragement would you offer? Then, direct those words inward. Self-compassion also means setting healthy boundaries with yourself. Recognize when you push too hard or neglect your needs. Allow space for rest, recovery, and joy without guilt. This balance replenishes your focus and sustains your energy. Avoid the trap of equating self-compassion with complacency. Being kind to yourself does not mean lowering standards or excusing poor behavior. It means fostering a supportive environment where you can strive without fear of harsh punishment. Reflect on how often you demand perfection from yourself. This impossible standard leads to burnout and discouragement. Replace perfectionism with the pursuit of progress, guided by kindness and patience. Remember, you are your lifelong companion. Cultivating a relationship of trust and care with yourself strengthens your ability to face challenges and maintain focus. Many successful people attribute their resilience not just to talent or discipline, but to the compassionate way they treat themselves through hardships. You too can cultivate this inner ally. It requires intention and practice, but yields profound rewards. Start today by noticing moments of self-criticism and gently redirecting them to compassion. Affirm your worthiness and capacity for growth regardless of setbacks. Embrace your humanity, flaws and all, and watch how this acceptance fuels your determination and sharpens your focus. Self-compassion is not softness, it is courage. It is the strength to stand by yourself, uplift yourself, and keep moving forward when the path is tough. With this inner ally, you become unstoppable. Chapter 11. Cultivating gratitude. Amidst the relentless pursuit of goals and the fierce drive to improve, gratitude often feels like a small, overlooked gesture, yet it holds profound transformative power. Gratitude is the quiet catalyst that reshapes your perspective, fuels your motivation, and enriches your experience of life. It grounds your focus not just on what you want to achieve, but on the abundance that already exists within and around you. When you cultivate gratitude, your mind shifts from scarcity to sufficiency. You stop fixating on what's missing and start appreciating what's present. This shift does not diminish your ambition or dilute your drive. Instead, it enhances your clarity and energizes your commitment. Gratitude rewires your brain. Neuroscience reveals that regular practice of gratitude activates neural pathways associated with joy, optimism, and resilience. It fosters positive emotions that buffer stress and sharpen your mental focus. In practical terms, gratitude creates a fertile ground for growth. When you appreciate the progress you've made, no matter how small, you build momentum. You recognize the lessons learned from challenges, the support from others, and the resources at your disposal. One simple yet powerful practice is maintaining a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for: moments, people, achievements, or even simple comfort. This habit trains your mind to notice and savor positivity. Beyond journaling, gratitude can be woven into your daily life. Start your morning by acknowledging the opportunity of a new day. At night, reflect on what went well and what brought you joy. Expressing gratitude to others deepens your connections and builds a supportive environment. Genuine appreciation nurtures relationships that sustain your growth. Gratitude also tempers impatience and frustration. When faced with setbacks, a grateful mindset helps you see the silver linings and maintain hope. It prevents you from being consumed by negativity or despair. Remember, gratitude is not about ignoring difficulties or pretending life is perfect. It is about choosing to focus on the light amidst the shadows, recognizing that even challenges contribute to your evolution. By integrating gratitude into your focus practice, you balance ambition with contentment. You create a rhythm of striving and savoring that sustains you over the long haul. Gratitude fuels your soul and sharpens your focus. It reminds you why you began and who you are becoming. Let this quiet power be the anchor that steadies you on your journey to winning. Chapter 12. Becoming unstoppable. You stand now at the threshold of a profound transformation. The path you've traveled, the lessons you've absorbed, and the mindset you've cultivated have prepared you for this moment. The moment where focus, discipline, patience, resilience, and self-compassion converge into unstoppable force. This is the final chapter, but really it is only the beginning of a new way of being, one where you claim your power fully and live the life you are destined to create. Becoming unstoppable is not about perfection or the absence of struggle. It's about unwavering commitment, relentless pursuit, and the courage to rise each time you fall. It means knowing who you are, what you want, and refusing to be deterred by fear, doubt, or distraction. This commitment demands that you own every part of your journey, the triumphs and the trials, the strengths and the weaknesses. It asks that you hold yourself accountable with kindness and firmness, continually aligning your actions with your highest vision. The unstoppable person is a master of focus. They guard their attention as their most precious resource, directing it with laser precision toward meaningful goals. They understand that scattered efforts yield scattered results, so they choose depth over breadth, quality over quantity. Discipline is their steadfast companion, guiding daily actions even when motivation wanes. Patience steadies their heart through uncertain times, reminding them that greatness unfolds in its own time. Resilience is their armor, allowing them to absorb setbacks and emerge stronger. Self-compassion nurtures their spirit, offering grace in moments of struggle and fueling perseverance. Gratitude enriches their experience, anchoring them in abundance even as they strive for more. To become unstoppable, you must cultivate all these qualities in harmony. Neglecting any one of them creates imbalance and vulnerability. Now, envision your future self, the person you are becoming through this commitment. See them standing tall, confident and calm amidst chaos. Feel their unwavering resolve and radiant focus. Let this vision inspire and ground you. But vision alone is not enough. You must act with intention each day. Choose actions that honor your goals and values. Prioritize what matters most. Protect your focus fiercely. Surround yourself with people who uplift and challenge you. Create environments that support your growth. Nourish your body and mind with care and respect. Remember, becoming unstoppable is a lifelong journey. Each day is an opportunity to recommit, to deepen your focus, and to expand your capacity. Celebrate your progress. Reflect on how far you've come. Let your victories, big and small, fuel your momentum. When obstacles arise, and they will, stand firm. Use the tools you've cultivated: focus, discipline, patience, resilience, compassion, and gratitude. They are your arsenal against doubt and distraction. Know that your commitment is more powerful than any challenge. Your determination shapes your reality. This is your moment to step fully into your power, to claim your victory not just as a distant dream, but as an inevitable outcome. You are unstoppable because you choose to be. You will win because you refuse to quit. The journey is yours, the victory is yours. Now go forward with courage and clarity. The world awaits what only you can give.